But you can see I've got my camera inside here and it is raining a little bit. It's not too heavy, but you can see there's already water getting on the case here.
Hi everyone, today we're going to make a waterproof case for my Canon G7X. Now this is not to use underwater but just to use in the rain. It's a little bit complex because this has an extending lens like this. Now we're not going to use much for this. We're going to use a lock and lock food box, which is already waterproof and airtight because it has a rubber seal inside. Let me show you. See that blue seal? We're going to use a yogurt container, obviously cleaned out, and we're going to use a clear piece of plastic. So the basic idea is to put our camera in here, and then we're going to cut a hole and we're going to put our yogurt container on the inside. The reason for using the yogurt container is we have this nice lip where we can apply glue. We'll chop off the end of this and somehow connect this clear plastic to act as a lens, and then it will be waterproof. Sorry about the background noise, but it is raining and that's exactly why I'm making this. You can see I've cut out the hole. It's not 100% perfect, but that's okay because remember we're going to put an epoxy around here, and then when we put it inside it's going to make a really nice seal. Plus we're going to put some kind of epoxy or maybe a silicone on the outside. So this is just first part. Of course we still have to put some kind of clear lens here. I also have to snip this down to make it a bit shorter, but let me put the camera inside and show you exactly how it will work. I'm sure you get it already, but I just want to give you a demonstration. So I've got some foam here just to kind of hold the camera in the right place. It's not strictly necessary, but I like it compared to having the camera bounce around. So put the camera in, turn it on. Yes, you have to turn it on and you have to press record before you close it up. It's kind of annoying, but I can do that under an umbrella or somewhere under cover, and then I can go out and I can shoot what I want. And you can see I can still see my screen. I'll remove this sticker later, of course. But yeah, that's the basic idea. So here it is. I've used epoxy to glue it in place on the inside. Plus there was some squeeze through, so we've got some epoxy on the outside, and I'm also planning to add a silicone here, a clear silicone, just to make 100% sure that water cannot get in that way. But what I want to do is just test how good is it with just the epoxy. So I'm going to cover this and then I'm going to fill it up with water and we'll see if it leaks through or not. So I've now used a couple of rubber bands just to cover this end off so we can add water and see if just with the epoxy it's already watertight. I think it will be, but let's find out. Okay, there you go. We do not have anything leaking through, so we know we already have a watertight seal, and when I add that silicone on the outside, that's just a bonus. It's a little bit flexible so that if ever there's a crack in the epoxy or something like that, we'll have a backup. So that's a very, very good sign that we're not getting any water come through here. So after a lot of trial and error, I think I found the simplest and best way to do this. You buy another yogurt container, same size, it slides over the top, and that gives us this nice lip. And then I'm going to epoxy this, what is this, acrylic. Now you can see I've already sanded around the edge because I want to make sure we get a good seal when I glue it on there. And then we just have to seal this here. It's very tight anyway, so it would be very difficult for water to get in there, but we could use some foil tape, we could use epoxy, we could use various different things to seal that up. I actually made another one here. This has like a flexible clear plastic. I don't really like this because optically it's not as good as acrylic, but it did work. I did it as a proof of concept. I made another one also with a CD case, you know, the clear plastic. I cut a circle, but I found it wasn't really strong enough. So if possible, acrylic is really going to be the best way to go, or perspex, something like that. But if not, you can pretty much use any plastic that you can make a good seal here. And yeah, I think this is finally going to be the end of this project. So I pretty much finished the case and I think it's come out really nice. It's very strong. We have this acrylic lens on the end. We've got a mix of silicone and epoxy around here to make sure no water gets inside. Plus we have another seal on the inside between the lip of the yogurt pot and the container. So there's no way that water should get in this thing. Probably you could use it underwater, although like I said, I'm only planning to use this in the rain. You might wonder, what's this little thing stuck on here? Well, let me show you by putting the camera inside. So I put the camera in there and we'll close it up. Of course we don't have to worry about water getting in at the back because this is watertight from the factory. So let's close this. And you'll see it actually looks quite nice. I would say it looks kind of professional, although a lot of people might recognize this as a lock and lock box. Now this is why I glued that little bit of foam on the inside. I can actually press record. So I can start and stop recordings without even taking the camera out. There's a little bit of flex in this lid here, not a lot, but just enough that I can start and stop recording. So that is a really nice feature. So I can press record, and I turned up the sensitivity of my screen, and I actually have touchscreen. It's not perfect, but it works. You can see the little box there moving around. Let me refocus. So if I touch around the screen here, you can see that I'm setting different focus points. So I do have touchscreen control. It's not perfect, but it works, and I can start and stop recordings, of course. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's good, but how about turning it on and off? Well, that's where the power saving mode comes in. After 10 seconds of not recording, the screen will turn off and the camera will go to sleep. So if we just wait a few seconds, we should see it turn off. There we go. So the lens is still extended and the camera is still awake, but it's in like a low power saving mode. So if I press record, you'll see it turns on and it starts recording again. So I think I can actually use this pretty well, and I don't need access to the power on and off button. So the only thing I want to change now or improve is maybe try and paint this barrel here. I'd like it to be black because it looks, well, a little bit ugly with the mix of silicone and epoxy, but otherwise it's really nice. Now, although I don't plan to use this underwater, I decided just to test it. I put some tissue in there, and actually this is the second time I've done this test, and as you'll see, there's no bubbles coming out, and the reason why there's no bubbles is it's watertight. Now, like I said, this is only for use in the rain, but it feels good that I know even if it goes completely underwater, it's safe. I can already see that the tissue's dry, but let's open the box and show you, just for the sake of making the video complete. Like I said, I am very happy because now I know this is completely watertight, so there's no way rain is going to affect it. So right now I'm at the People Power Monument on Edsa, and I've got the camera. Obviously it's nighttime, so I'm using a flashlight at the moment. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear me, but you can see I've got my camera inside here, and it is raining a little bit. It's not too heavy, but you can see there's already water getting on the case here, and I've actually tested this under the shower already and no water got inside, so I'm extremely confident. Once the rain picks up a little bit more, I'm going to do a test recording, and we'll see how it is. It is a little bit noisy here because, like I said, I'm on Edsa, but it'll be a good example because it's heavy rain, it's a little bit dark, there's moving vehicles, and we'll see how this performs. And this is me talking. There is a lot of background noise and I'm pretty much shouting at the camera. I don't expect much of my voice to get through, and I don't expect much of the background noise to get through either, because when I tested it in the shower, it's very hard to hear anything. So I just shot my first video, and something I realized is I'm going to need to carry a cloth to wipe off the lens every now and then. And something I forgot to mention earlier is I'm actually planning to use it under an umbrella. So it's not like I'm going to be standing under the pouring rain with no protection. I want to use it under the umbrella, but I still want to make sure it's safe, especially when it's windy and the rain is being blown everywhere. You'll see right now that it is raining pretty heavy. I don't know how well you can see it on camera. Right now I've got my phone inside a pouch, and actually, sorry, I'm wiping the lens there, actually it does quite okay. So it might turn out that sometimes I just use my cell phone because it's very easy to get a waterproof pouch for the cell phone. But I really like the idea of using my bigger camera because the quality will be much better, especially in dark conditions.